Hi, my name is Leanne, and I'm sorry I can't be with you this week, but I wanted to give a bit of my testimony. I grew up going to church with my mum and dad most Sundays, and for much of my childhood, I would have said that I was a Christian. Faith was a part of my life, but if I'm honest, it was more something I inherited than something I had truly made my own. That changed when I was about 11 years old and started high school. In my religious, moral, and philosophical studies class, I was introduced to philosophy and big questions about life and God. I became very skeptical. I questioned everything. I still attended church, but I struggled to commit myself fully to the Lord because I felt I needed answers before I could truly trust. Then at Easter in 2003, everything changed. I was at my cousin's baptism, and during that service, I experienced something I can only describe as being overwhelmed by the presence of God. In that moment, I knew with absolute certainty that God was real, that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and that the Holy Spirit is present and active. It was not simply an emotional moment. It was a deep conviction that settled in my heart. The following year, I was baptized. Since then, my journey with Christ has not been easy. Becoming a Christian did not remove hardship from my life, but it gave me something stronger than hardship. A faith rooted in the love and faithfulness of God. One of my deepest struggles I have faced has been the painful distance in my relationship with my now adult son, and by extension with my grandson. As a mother, there is no greater ache than longing for closeness and being powerless to fix what is broken. There have been many nights of tears, unanswered questions, and silent prayers. I have often wondered whether I had done enough or where things went wrong. Yet, even in that pain, God has been faithful. He has taught me that love does not always mean having control. Sometimes love means keeping the doors open, keeping a place at the table, and trusting God to work in His timing. My role is to continue praying, to remain available, and to believe that the Lord loves my son even more than I do. In recent years, I have also discovered that I am dyslexic, and I am currently coming to understand that I have ADHD and autistic traits as well. Receiving this understanding later in life was both a relief and a grief. It explained why school was so difficult, why I often felt exhausted, and why I sometimes believed I was not good enough. But it also revealed something beautiful, that God has been sustaining me all along. Psalm 139 reminds us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I have come to believe that this is true of every part of me, including the parts I once saw as weaknesses. God does not love us despite our struggles. He meets us in them and uses them to shape us. Through these challenges, my faith has become deeper and more real. I have learned to depend on God rather than my own strength. I have learned that leadership, motherhood, and discipleship are not about having all the answers, but about walking closely with Jesus. Today, my testimony is simple. God is faithful. He was faithful when I was full of questions. He was faithful when I experienced his presence at my cousin's baptism. He has been faithful through heartbreak, uncertainty, and personal discovery, and he remains faithful today. My struggles have not weakened my faith, they have strengthened it. They have taught me that even when life feels painful or uncertain, God is still present, still loving, and still working. So if you're walking through a difficult season, my encouragement is this: hold on to Jesus. Keep praying, keep trusting. God may not answer in the way or the timing we expect, but he never abandons us. I stand here today on the screen as someone who has questions, doubted, grieved, and struggled, but also as someone who knows beyond any doubt that God is real. His love is steadfast, and His grace is sufficient for every challenge we face.